What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. We are back at it this week with the Remsen Stakes coming up at Aqueduct this weekend, Saturday, on that great card at Aqueduct Cigar Mile Day. We'll have a full preview of the Cigar Mile as well. But we'll start with the Remsen here, a huge Kentucky Derby prep event, a big field, a field of 12. Going 1.8 miles, of course, on the dirt. Let's get to it. I'll put it up on the screen now. Like I said, it's a big field of 12. Usually, I don't know. I feel like we see a little bit smaller field of the Remsen, but we've got a big one here. We've got a situation kind of brewing, in my opinion. I'll talk about this more in the Kentucky Derby, update video that I do each and every week. But, I was pretty underwhelmed with everything that happened at Churchill Downs on Saturday. And like I say, I'll break it down a little bit later in other videos. So I just think we've got a wide open situation. We do have Ted Naffy, who's clear number one. And after that, we're kind of just looking for challengers. The more I watch these replays, specifically, well, two of them, I would say, the more I'm very intrigued with what's going to happen here. And maybe we're going to see something nice in the Remsen this year. All right, enough rambling. Let's get to it. Number one, day one starter to kick off our preview here. And look, he's a horse that struggled on debut up at Saratoga, got to Belmont at the Big A next time out, got the job done and won by 4.5 lengths and looked really good. Going 6.5 furlongs, stretched out to a mile, got third, beaten 10 3/4 in that one. I don't know. That race didn't look very good. This is a horse I do think will run better than that. I don't know about 1.8 miles for this horse. Kind of on the fence / not going to use the number one day one starter. The number two is Paladin, horse I do like quite a bit here. A $1.9 million purchase. That's the first thing that jumps out when you're kind of analyzing this horse. By Gun Runner out of a Tappet mare, 1.1 miles should be just fine for this one. Got second, but ended up getting first via disqualification. The horse that crossed the wire first. We're going to talk about that one in a little bit. The number 9 Renegade. Guys, the more I watch this maiden special weight replay, the more excited I get about both these horses. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It happened on October 17th at Belmont at the Big A. They went 1 mile. And these two horses just kind of mid-stretch locked in and hit the wire together, just ran nose to nose and really, really just took off from the rest of the field. The acceleration from the 2 and the 9, Paladin and Renegade in that last race was very impressive. Paladin, I think, being with Chad Brown, probably going to improve this race. Renegade could as well, but I do see more out of Paladin here. I really liked the way he kind of just set off the pace and just patiently waited for his time and his cue and then kicked on. So I like him quite a bit here. I thought that was a very, very good debut. And he won the race, even though he lost the race, even though there was no DQ. Neither one of them really lost it. They both ran extremely well, and it was just a nose apart. It was a head bob. So Paladin obviously going to be very tough in this spot. At least that's my opinion. Number 3 is I did. And I did pick this horse to win last time out in the Remsen Stakes, and he did not. So you kind of look at that race last time out, not very good. I thought his race 2 back was pretty good at Churchill Downs, going 1 mile and 16th. I thought he ran really well in that one. He is by Curlin out of a Bluegrass Cat mare. I think the horse can go long. How long? I'm not sure. Is he good enough? That's going to be my main question. I thought the last race, I expected to see a little more out of him. We didn't see much. I will say the second place horse, Universe, did come back to run second last week in the Kentucky Jockey Club. I don't think that was a weak race by any means. I just didn't love his effort. And there's others I just like a little bit better in this spot today. Number 4 is Grittiness. This is another son of Curlin out of an Oxbow mare. And the Oxbow mare is Coach Rocks, who won a big race down at Gulfstream Park. The Gulfstream Park Oaks one year down in Florida. Look, 3 races, no wins, and that's the bad news, obviously. The horse trained by Todd Pletcher. We're going to try to give it a shot here. $575,000 purchase from the Rapoli stable. Going 1.8 miles, I think will be good. We kind of highlighted the pedigree there, but a sixth, and a second so far. Did kind of improve going 1 mile. Got beat by Courting, a horse that's in this race as well. Got beat by 2.5. Kind of wasn't a challenge late in the stretch, though, for Courting. All right, let's keep going to the number 5, Chambersville moving over to the dirt after 3 races on the turf. Broke the maiden last time out at Keeneland, going this distance. I think that is important at 1.8 miles on the turf. Got the job done there. Only lost by a nose 2 races back at Belmont at the Big A, going 1 mile 16th on the turf. The horse is trained by Kenny McPeak, and you just kind of smile and go, yeah, this is probably one that, kind of looks overmatched and will probably come up here and run really well. Not for me in this one. I never can kind of guess when that's going to happen, but does have a win at the distance. I think that is something nobody else can say. So give him credit for that. The number 6 is Courting. And I like Courting quite a bit. The pedigree is amazing. This is a $5 million. Yes, that's what I said. $5 million purchase. And looky there, another son of Curlin out of, by Curlin out of a Bernardini mare named Cavorting. Cavorting, a very good racehorse in her own right when she was on the track. So, 2 races don't jump off the page, although neither one of them were that bad. Got 4th, beaten 2 1/4 on debut, going 1 mile. And then last time out, 1 going 1 mile by 2 1/2. Kind of just not a lot of acceleration we've seen from this horse yet. I will say, after the wire in the last race, Courting kind of took off. Going 1 mile and 1/8. I think this horse really kind of runs like he needed 1 mile and 1/8 immediately, right? He just kind of a slow, grinded out type, at least going 1 mile. What will he look like at 1 mile and 1/8? I think it's a big key. I think out of all the horses in this race, he might be the one that is ready for it the most. So I expect him to run pretty well. I just want to see another level. He's not, in numbers aren't everything with 2-year-olds, but he's just not quite there. And even visually, he just doesn't really impress you, but going 1 mile and 1/8 could be a different story. We'll see what happens with him. The number 7 is Igniter. Igniter was a winner last time out in the main special weight at Belmont at the Big A, and he did defeat Courting in that race. He did defeat Courting there. I'm not a huge fan of Igniter, which kind of makes it hard to be a huge fan of Courting. I kind of think of that as well. I'm not sure that Igniter is bred quite as well as some of these horses for 1 mile and 1/8, but did see improvement first out to second out. I thought that was good, and the improvement came when stretching out. So, I think this horse is going to set a good trip. I just prefer others a little bit more. That's just kind of how I look at it with Igniter. And you can kind of see with Courting, I'm not going to pick this horse to win. I'm just kind of on the fence with both these horses. I want to see what they do here stretching out. All right, let's keep going to the number 8. Concarneau. Concarneau is a horse that, is coming in from Parks/Laurel. Broke the maiden 2 races back at Parks. Got beat in an allowance by several lengths last time out at Laurel. This is just, I don't know, not for me, right? It looks like an ultimate long shot. I'd say be 50-1 on the morning line. Let's go to the number 9, Renegade. We talked about Renegade, a horse that was defeated actually finished first, but got disqualified in that race, beat Paladin in that spot. Renegade is by Into Mischief out of a Curlin mare. Spice is Nice, another Curlin, good mares in this race, by the way. My goodness, another really nice horse there. $975,000 purchase for this one. So boy, there are some exciting horses, some exciting pedigrees in this one. Yeah, look, you kind of look at him and go, look, first race, he got beat 18 1/4 by It's Our Time. Guess what? It's Our Time is not very good after that. Isn't that crazy? It's Our Time 0 for 2 after that, a great maiden win. But look, Renegade just improved greatly last time out. Gets Irad Ortiz aboard. I thought that was a really good sign as well. I think all systems are go. I was super impressed. He locked in, he engaged with Paladin and just galloped right out to the wire and was able to nose him, even though he got disqualified. So Renegade comes in with a big chance as well. If I'm bragging about Paladin, I got to brag about Renegade. I thought both those horses were excellent in that maiden race. Let's go to the number 10, Balboa. This is a very interesting horse, right? Another huge purchase, $875,000 purchase sired by Not This Time out of a War front mare, Tap of War. This is a horse that, second out for Bob Baffert, won, and I thought looked really, really good. Got beat by Brandt on debut. That nothing to, be disappointed about. But Balboa just was not good at all. A 5th beaten 9 1/2 in the Del Mar Futurity. A 5th beaten 11 in the American Pharaoh. And it's like, well, I guess he's no good. He switches from Bob Baffert to Brittany Russell, and that's kind of what the Bob Baffert horses that aren't going to cut it, that's kind of what they do. They switch over. Brittany Russell enters them in a small stakes at Laurel, going 6 furlongs, and he just dusted them that day. Won by 5 1/4. I bet the horse that day, even though he was even money. I thought, you know what, I've seen Brittany Russell do this, and I kind of think this horse is going to run really well in this spot and kind of outclass these horses at Laurel. Now we're jumping back into the deep end of pool again. I don't know. I mean, he is bred to go a mile and an eighth. He is very, he looks like a good horse to me. Kind of a wild card, right? Kind of a wild card, no doubt about it. I don't know what I'll do with him. I'm not going to play him to win. I may put him underneath. I don't know, but he did kind of wake up. He ran really well. He kind of ran back to his first couple races in that race last time out at Laurel. Let's keep going. Number 11 is Talking. Nothing wrong with this horse, right? Won on debut at Saratoga, beat Stradale, beat Further Ado in that race. Now we've kind of mentioned Further Ado, not great. Stradale is what he is, but it was a really nice effort. Won by a neck. Wheels back last time out, runs second in the Champagne to Napoleon Solo, beaten 6.5. So wasn't competitive. However, did kind of close on the track, didn't kind of get the best, positioning early. So I don't really hold that against him. I thought he ran pretty well. Another big purchase, $600,000 purchase. Good Magic, the sire of this one, out of a Tisnow mare. So another one should be okay going the distance. I think we'll improve going the distance. If you want to take a shot with this one, I can't really talk you out of him. He's looked good in 2 starts, no doubt about it. And then finally, the number 12 is Probably Dreaming. This horse won 3 races in a row at the smaller circuits, Laurel, Delaware, and Delaware. Came to Belmont at the Big A last time out to run in the Nashua second, beating 3.5 lengths there. Pretty good showing. I still think he's a cut below, and that's where I'm at with this one. Horses buy Improbable out of a Broken Vow mare, so I could see it. I could see this horse getting a mile and eighth, but I just think it's a little bit cut below some of the better ones in this one. All right, this was a hell of a race. I am usually not all that excited, to be honest, for the Remsen. I'm pretty excited about this one. I think it's going to be a really, really good race on Saturday. I'm going to go with the number 2, Paladin. I'm sure as you were listening to me talk, you kind of knew I was going for the 2 of the 9. I just love that maiden special weight. I thought it was excellent. I think Paladin sits a better trip. I think he's a little bit better suited for the distance of a mile and an eighth versus Renegade. Wouldn't be shocked, though, obviously, if Renegade was able to get the job done in this spot. But I'm going to go number 2, Paladin. I really like everything about him. I think he's one to watch. I think there's a chance we exit this race and go, you know what? Ted Noffy's got some company. And it could be Renegade, could be Paladin. Maybe Courting, really improves, stretching out to a mile and eighth. I think there's some good horses in this race. I'm pretty excited about it. But for me, I'm going to go number 2, Paladin, on top to win this year's version of the Remsen. All right, guys, I love this preview. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do previews like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're playing Aqueduct on Saturday.